and change the video now. You're right, Gangrene UK. Welcome back to episode 30. It's another Meet the Member, and we're joined by Steve, more commonly known as Lord Chimpington. You will see him pop up on the page bit. So thanks for coming along, Steve.
No problem.
And I'm joined by James again as well. Thanks for coming along, James.
That's great.
So, Steve, the question that we ask everybody when they come on the first time, how did you become a Jets fan? What did you do to deserve this punishment?
Yeah, well, apart from colossal sins in a previous life, I don't even know. I mean, I was Genghis Khan or someone, I'm not sure. But I mean, for me, it was when the NFL first came on Channel 4. So I was 8 years old. Wasn't anything else I was watching on the 4 available channels back then. In 82, I think it would have been. And so this thing appeared and I had no idea what was going on. But it kind of drew me in a bit. And then I watched the next week and still didn't really know what was going on, but kind of figured I was going to be watching this every week. So I ought to pick a team. And I think the week I made that decision, the Jets must have won. I mean, actually, we weren't bad that season. Obviously, that was a championship game, of course. And perhaps they were the only team in green, because maybe Green Bay and Philly were wearing their white jerseys. I don't know. I mean, I'm 8 years old. And yeah, what does an 8-year-old think? So it almost is just completely random. I knew nothing about New York, knew nothing about the Jets, knew nothing about the NFL, knew nothing about anything. Just watching this thing going, okay, that's crazy. I'm going to watch this every week, so I need to pick a team. So I just picked a team.
No, that's awesome. I mean, lots of people do it that way. Not so much when they're 8, but you know what? Fair play. It was a good choice. We're glad you made it.
Yeah, I'm not always so bad. I know what you mean.
Been in for the long haul, mate.
Yes. Yeah. You'd have told me, 8-year-old me, I'd be 47 going on to be 48, and we still wouldn't have got to another Super Bowl, let alone won another one. I'm not sure I'd have believed you, but it's going to happen. We're not winning it this year, and I'll be 48 in June, so that's that,
Yeah.
Never say never. Mathematically, we still can.
Yeah, all right.
Return of the flag. I'm telling you.
He's won one before, mate. He's won one before.
Yeah.
But who would you say your favourite Jets player of all time is then?
Well, I was lucky at the start, able to watch people like Klecko, Gastineau, Freeman McNeil, Altoon, Wesley Walker with Ken O'Brien thrown to them. And as the years went on, you sort of really remember those players from the beginning. And that was a great team to be able to watch on both sides of the ball. Later on, Wayne Corbett was someone I loved. I mean, not just the fact that he was so reliable on third down, but I love the story that, he just pitches up and gets himself there and gets to be reliable and gets to be someone that the quarterback trusts. We've had 2 wonderful centers in Mawai and Mangold. But, for me, ultimately, it's the guy who I always wear his shirt when I go to games, number 28, Curtis Martin. He's just such a superb person. I mean, I'm proud to have his name on my back. His Hall of Fame speech is really emotional. And not just what he did on the field, not just the way he was as a player, but how he is as an individual and how he is as a person, I think is so important. So, for me, it's kind of actually quite proud, wearing 28, at the moment. And I'm kind of, I'm proud to do that because I think it's good. I'm wearing that guy's name on my back and he's a good guy and I'm happy to do that.
Oh, it's awesome.
Yeah, true legend.
When you start looking at it as a current player point of view, who's your favourite current player?
That's a little bit harder for obvious reasons, especially as you're asking me 3 days after we got done by the Patriots. So what I've learned in team sports over the years, watching whether it's NFL, football, soccer, cricket, you learn a lot more about a player when they're absent than when they're there. And we learn a colossal amount about CJ Mosley on Sunday. As far as I'm concerned. I mean, so for me, our best player is undoubtedly CJ Mosley. I don't think it's even close, unfortunately. I'd like it to be, but I really think CJ Mosley is just so much better. You can see what he brings to the team. If he stays long term, I know he's obviously a bit older, but if he does stay for a few years, then maybe he's buying into what we're doing. Maybe what we're doing is okay. That I could see that going that way. Otherwise, you're looking for someone like hopefully Quentin Williams. Elijah Vera Tucker, he's obviously got some good stats this year, although it's difficult. It doesn't always look good necessarily when you watch him, but his stats do look pretty good. And I always like the players that we draft as well. If we actually bring them in, they're ones I want to see do well. Michael Carter, the running back's another one. He looks pretty good. So Yeah, I think our best player is Mosley, but I'm hoping some of those youngsters, particularly the ones that are just having to play this season, can learn from that and really develop to next year.
Oh, great. I tend to agree. CJ is very, very good.
And was very missed on Sunday.
Wasn't he just?
Yeah. But so what would you say your favourite game is that you've ever watched as a Jets fan, or a Jet game?
There's probably two that I watched on telly. One was recorded on VHS, which was the Monday Night Miracle. Didn't have, I didn't have a DVD player back then. I don't think DVDs even existed back then. Someone had to get that out. But obviously, the Monday Night Miracle was amazing. To be sat there, because obviously that's Monday night, so I go off to work and I come back from work and I stick the VHS in and I watch it. And you're watching everything, 3 hours, 3.5 hours, or whatever. You're into this, thinking, "What am I have I wasted my entire evening with this?" And then all of a sudden, all of a sudden the fourth quarter kicks in, and you're like, "Wow, okay, this is special." Obviously, the Pats' victory in the playoffs when we lost 45-3 earlier that season, with Keyshawn Johnson, Keyshawn being the only guy that called us to, the only one that said we'd win it of all the pundits. Everyone else called New England saying absolutely, that was ridiculous that we won that game. It was so good. And on a personal note, it was finally seeing the Jets win in New York on the fourth attempt when we beat Dallas. Frank, I know we went to whatever it was, 1-7 start of that season, but I saw the one. So, that was a real big moment for me. That was just so important. And I was surrounded by two very dear friends of mine who I managed to buy a seat next to them, just got really lucky on the secondary market. So I was with two really great friends of mine, and to see the victory was just wonderful. I didn't come down for weeks after that.
Yeah, I mean, I can relate to the Monday Night Miracle because that was my first full season.
Oh yeah.
So I came on board in 1999, and then that happened obviously 2000. And yeah, I can feel that one.
Yeah, absolutely.
So we always like to talk about the best and worst moments. So not necessarily the games, but the moments. What's the best moment and the worst?
So, it's just going to sound really strange, but there's wonderful moments. I mean, Braylon Edwards dragging two Patriots into the end zone with him to score a touchdown. It's like, I'm going this way, boys. You can come with me if you want. That was wonderful. When Jamal Adams stopped the 2-point conversion for Dallas in the game, I finally got to see the win at 24-22. That was wonderful. In fact, in that game as well, just after Dallas had gone for it on fourth down and missed it, we have I think it was a 94-yarder to Robbie Anderson, to score a touchdown. So that was great. But actually, one of the strangest ones for me was a day where I couldn't take the day off work the next day. We were playing the Bengals. It was really late, and I think it was the game where we met them again in the playoffs the following week. Yeah. And we were something like 30-0 up at half time. And I was expecting I'm going to watch the whole game. And I came to bed, and my wife kind of not quite asleep. She was like, "What are you doing in bed?" I said, "We're 30-0 up. We've won this." So I feel like that as a Jets fan. I think we won 37-0. I think we only got 7 points in the second half. But to feel like that as a Jets fan, to be able to go to bed in the middle of the night, 30-0, knowing it doesn't matter. We have won this game. This is totally in the bag. That's rare. And I guess, bizarrely, maybe that's a real big moment for me. And I'd love to feel like that again.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I can feel that one. What about the worst?
In terms of a whole game, it was the 45-3 Patriots. I mean, I actually got up early that morning to watch it before I went to work. And it obviously had hit me because I had people at work asking me if I was okay. So I was obviously like 1,000-yard stare thing going on. But actually, there was a moment in one of the games, I think Buffalo, but I can't quite remember, where Sanchez had gone out wide and we'd gone to the Wildcat or the Seminole because we used to use Leon Washington. And the defensive guy just sort of shouted at him, and Sanchez kind of went and sort of, jumped. And I just thought to myself, this isn't going to work, is it? And I really bought into Rex and everything Rex was doing. I was really hoping this was going to work. And you see the butt fumble, the stuff with the feet comes out, and you just start to feel all this stuff that you think, this is, because I honestly, I thought Rex was such a great guy. I really did. I thought he was great fun. He always supported his players. So often he'd talk about players. If the team won, he'd talk about the players. If the team lost, he'd talk about himself. And I think that was really good management. And just to start to realize this was going to unravel and we were going to be back to square one, and it was okay, we reset again, rebuilding since 1969. but on we go. And so that, yeah, I don't know, maybe even that moment of Sanchez just freaking, it made me think this isn't going to work. And that was, yeah, you know, didn't like that.
Definitely, mate. It's that time. But looking at the current team, moving up to end of this season, the free agency and the draft, what positions are you looking to add, or free agents to acquire for the coming year?
Yeah, I mean, you look at it's obviously knee-jerk. You look back to the last game, and I'm thinking, well, someone in the middle would be good. But then, as linebackers, but we do have these players. It's just with the injuries and things, we've suffered so many injuries, so it's quite hard in that way to know. I don't really follow the college game, so in terms of looking at individual players, I'm not sure. I mean, I think we've got to buy into Zach Wilson. He's on a 5-year contract. Salah's on a 5-year contract. Douglas has 5 years left. I mean, it's pretty obvious what's happening with those 3 guys. They're living and dying together. This is going to happen. So if we're going to do that, we have to keep protecting and supporting Wilson, and that's the way we're going to have to go with this. So it's identifying players on improving the O-line, improving blocking if we need help. So thinking about a fullback, maybe you can just take on some of that blocking responsibility. I know they've gone out of the game, but Richardson we had years ago, it was great for us. Helping Wilson, I think that's the way we've got to go. You watch the game on Sunday. Am I convinced that Wilson is going to be the answer? Well, of course not, but it's too early to dismiss him. And come what may, we've got to ride with this guy now for the next few years. So we've got to give him every chance to succeed.
Definitely, man. Definitely. It's do or die with Wilson, really, isn't it? It's just give him all the help we can and let's ride it out.
Yep. I mean, I don't think he's going to need much help. I think we're not as far away as many think when you bring back the 41 million that we've got on IR at the minute.
Yeah. That was the thing I wanted to bring up. That just,
I think there's still 11 starters on IR.
Yeah.
So,
yeah. Oh yeah, we brought Lawson was a huge loss. He was going to be a huge part of what we did on the defensive side of the game. So he's a massive loss. We could see the loss that Mosley was. Our young secondary are doing a great job, really. I mean, they're not perfect, but been really impressed with those. Unheralded players. They're doing well. Yeah, I mean, I hope you're right, Ant. I really do. But with any luck, we're going to have 2 picks. Well, let's hope 1 pick in the top 10 from Seattle, and ours can go up a bit. But realistically, 2 picks in the top 10 is likely. And I don't think you should ever draft specifically for need. But if it's close between 2 players and you need one rather than the other, you should take the guy you need.
Fair, very fair. So you can see you've got a few jerseys behind you. And a question that we like to ask, because obviously it's a split fan base when it comes to this. What's your favourite jersey and your favourite logo that we've had?
Wow. I mean, the favourite logo is the helmet logo from the 80s. I mean, that's the first one I remember. That's what I grew up with. It's got the jet fin on it and stuff. It looks pretty cool. Jersey wise, it would be going back to the 60s. And then when Parcells brought that back, whilst they kept those, a decent green. I know with the sort of design, they messed the green up for a while. In sort of, what was it, I don't know, about 5 or 6 years ago, where it seemed a bit weird whenever the players sweated, it went odd sort of colours and shades. I don't know what they did with that, but that general one is pretty good. I mean, I do like the new jerseys. I think what they've done is pretty good. What I quite like they've done is with the new helmet is they've managed to get a green that also works with black. It doesn't jar. So there's something. I mean, I don't understand the technology, but someone's put some effort into that, which is pretty good.
Yeah, the branding agency have done well there.
Yeah, it looks pretty good.
Yeah, I like them. I like the new ones, to be fair. And so it might be a difficult one, but if there was any one thing you could change about the current Jets, what would that be?
It's going to sound odd because I live in the UK, but there are 5 boroughs of New York. There's got to be a place there for a stadium. When you see the drawings of the West Side Stadium that, obviously wasn't built, you look at what could have been and you say, it looks just amazing. I think, it's a shame that we're sharing a stadium with the Giants. I get the economy of that. I think it's bizarre that given both the Jets and the Giants play, you can't get a direct train out of Penn Station. Constantly having to change at Secaucus just seems weird. They haven't even sorted that out. So let's get back in the 5 boroughs somewhere. We've got New York on the shirts. Let's make it New York. And if we could move back to New York and the Giants stay in New Jersey, then all we need is a little bit of success. Come on, we can do this.
You're the real New York team, then, mate.
Absolutely.
I'm all over that. So this year, it's quite a big year for the Jets. We've got 12 ex-players in the 122 names to go into the Hall of Fame. Right? So we're going to give you a hypothetical that it comes down to 2.
Mm-hmm.
And you can only choose one of them to go into the Hall of Fame. Your options are Antonio Cromartie or Nick Mangold.
Okay. It's Joe Klecko, by the way. Just so you know.
Absolutely, but he's not even on the list again.
No, it's crazy. It's the first guy. I think there's only 2 that have ever been elected to the Pro Bowl at 3 positions, and he was the first. I think there's only been 2. I can't quite remember, but he was certainly the first at the time, and for a long time the only. So I don't know what the guy has to do. The other one, actually, going back. Sorry, I will answer your question. The other one, going back further, not that I ever saw him play, was Larry Grantham. You look at the awards he won from players and the awards he picks up in his career. I think there's a missing guy there. Of those 2, I think Antonio Cromartie had great time with us. He was really good alongside Revis. It was great fun to watch him, particularly as no one threw to Revis. So Cromartie gets kind of the highlight reels from those seasons, and fair play to him, he absolutely does. But for me, I don't think it's that difficult a decision, and I would pick Nick Mangold simply because Nick Mangold replaced a Hall of Fame centre in Kevin White, and we didn't miss a beat. So if you can come in and replace a Hall of Fame guy and we don't miss a beat, then this new guy must be like
Hall of
Fame worthy, surely. I mean, to me, it's not like he played 1 season. You know what I mean? Nick Mangold was there for a long time, and so I just, for me, as well as Crow did, as much as I enjoyed watching him play, and I really did, it's not a difficult decision for me.
Oh, fair, well put across.
Yeah, awesome, man, awesome. So a bit of a lighter question, but I've got a particular curse of buying players' jerseys who go down or leave the team. So we've been asking everyone, what's the next jersey you're thinking of getting? I say, a fan.
Yeah, it's tough to say. Mosley's your obvious choice if I thought he was going to hang around for any length of time. But just because of the way things are and his position in, we're building a young team. He needs to be somewhere that there's a bit more success. It's not like a criticism of him, but so Quentin Williams would be good. He seems a good guy. I'd like it if maybe just that little bit further, one of those unheralded secondary guys, Hall or someone could start to keep going, and you just think get better and better. The problem for me is I plan these things. I think, I might get that guy's jersey. So like Quincy Enunwa was one I was really close to getting, and then obviously never really recovered from the injury. Leon Washington, I thought, I ended up buying a Leon Washington shirt afterwards, but he was one, and then we traded him, I think, to Seattle. So okay, I won't get him either. So, it's difficult. I'd want it to be Wilson, obviously, because he's your quarterback, and I want that to be the shirt that everyone's buying because he's just tearing things up. But at the moment, that's not the case. So it's pretty difficult, to be honest. I'm sorry.
No, absolutely. It's been really hard for people to give us one for that exact reason. At the minute, we are that young, it's a risk.
Absolutely.
My next jersey I'm going to buy, because I have the same curse, is a Josh Allen one.
Good man.
I'm gonna put it out there. So, obviously, we're on here for the group. Is there anything you'd like to see happen in or with the group? How you want to see it develop, or any ideas you've got to bring something to the group?
Well, obviously, I said to you, we were down in London. I'm so impressed with the way things have taken off and all different things we're doing. I think it's been fantastic. From when I just sort of sign up on Facebook, it's like, it's a Jets group, I'll sign up, let's see what happens. And then all the things that have come out of that, they've got the interviews we've done online with Santonio Holmes, with Jeff Reinbold, who was great value, obviously. Jeff was brilliant. And obviously meeting Nick Mangold on Sunday. So the only thing I could really think about, which I hope is something that would work, would be once they get an NFL game in Germany, doesn't have to be the Jets. Let's go. I don't know Germany that well, except Berlin. I know very well. If they happen to play in Berlin, that is a hell of a city. And if we can have a trip out to Berlin,
it's 100% on the cards, as is MetLife next year.
Yeah. Obviously, being a teacher, I'm kind of stuck with term dates, so I can't. That's not unfortunately going to work, or it would increase the cost for absolutely everybody else. So I'll have to duck out of that one till I retire.
There is talk of doing it through half term over here,
right?
Because one of the guys that runs the group, he's in the same boat. So who knows?
Yeah, hopefully. My half term is a week earlier. I'm not on half term at the moment. Mine was last week. So that again could. I sound like I'm trying to put barriers in the way. I'd love to go.
No. It'll work out. It'll work out. We might just go Boxing Day.
Yeah, I've done that before. Well, just before Christmas. It wasn't Christmas Eve or the 23rd. I did a game.
Nice.
So, to be fair, I'd also like to go to the Germany game if we do get one.
Well, it'll be going on. I've already chatted with the guys at Gangrene Germany, so it'll happen. That's for sure.
They like to party. So.
Yeah, they do. It's too heavy metal for me, but yeah, it's all good. So at this point, Steve, we like to give you the opportunity to give a message to the group. It can be one of hope. It can be one of anything. Just a message from you to them. So it's over to you for your little bit.
All right. Well, firstly, it was lovely to meet everyone last Sunday. Meeting particularly not just the admin guys that we met and fantastic, but just other people. So, Simon and Hugh and Paul, it was brilliant to really chat with you guys. Had a bit of a chat with a couple of the German guys outside as well, which was awesome. So I think, look, it is difficult when you keep thinking you're rebuilding. So, it's good. Those people that have posted positive things this week has been really good to read. I wasn't in the mindset to do that. So if you can see that positive element of stuff and you can say, no, look, this bit's okay, keep posting that stuff, because there are some of us, particularly the older ones, we need this. We've been, like I say, it's going to be 40 years for me next year. Sometimes you just think, why am I doing this? And you keep doing it. What else are you going to do? So for those of you, particularly those of you a bit younger who've got that, still got that, optimism. Keep it coming, guys, because us old ones need it.
Awesome.
Love it.
Well, thanks for coming on, Steve. It's been a pleasure as always. Cheers for joining us, James. Guys, thanks for watching. Give us a like, a share, a follow, all of the normal stuff, and we'll speak to you soon.